Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, last week I finished the week with, 18 wins, 3 losses for a win rate of 85.71%. So definitely exceeded my goal of 85% every week. That's been my goal weekly, monthly, yearly. So anytime I can get over 85% on those goals, I'll be very, very happy. Now, I don't know what it is about Mondays, but Mondays I'm not doing well. I don't know why. So I try to make adjustments. I try to do certain things, take my time, wait for better setups, and I just managed to end up taking a loss on the first trade on Mondays. I don't know, was it last Monday? The last few Mondays that's been happening to me, so very, very annoying. But anyways, we'll just get into the trades. So trade ideas room on Monday, the 15th. I said SPY calls off 413.50. See, the 15th is right here. Blow this up. Had a nasty drop on Friday. It started to run up on pre-market overnight on Sunday and then pre-market Monday. Then it dumped around 8 o'clock in the morning. And it came back down. So I was thinking, okay, we're going to probably pull back a little bit more than that open. We're going to probably end up popping. So I've been waiting out the first, I think, 30 minutes on this play, or 10 minutes. I'm not quite sure what I was doing. I know that I switched back, went back to the ORB of 10 minutes, and I didn't do it this time because the first trade I took was at 11. So I did not. This might have been the day my wife had a doctor's appointment. I don't remember. But anyways, I didn't take this. So let's see. It dropped pre-market. Pre-market at opening. If I was to take puts at lower day, they would have definitely paid off. I'm not sure why I didn't take this. I don't know. I know one of the mornings my wife had a doctor's appointment. I don't know if this was it or not. I don't remember. But either way, I should have taken this. I didn't take a puts until 11 o'clock to 10:59, which is right. 10:59. I didn't take anything through VWAP. I wasn't sure. 10:59, which is right here. Oh yeah, I remember this. I rejected the 20 EMA and pulled back, which is the light blue line, down to VWAP. So when it came back to VWAP, okay, usually it flushes through VWAP. Like right here, it rejected a little bit and it came back down, then it just raged through it. Usually when you get to VWAP, it likes to flush through it, like right here, it flushed through it. That was my thinking. Right here was right here. It didn't, it actually bounced. Lately, it does not use VWAP and as support and resistance. It hasn't been for months. It's been usually years ago, or even last year, several months ago. It used to be a good indicator for bounces and resistance, but it just it hasn't been. If anything, it's been picking up steam and raging through VWAP to the downside or upside. So, and I've been playing it as that, and this is what I did, and it just didn't go through and ended up bouncing. So I took the 41.20 puts right at VWAP at $6.30, and it popped, and I stopped out at 370. So I got out right away. I just don't know why I didn't take that. I should have. I think that I probably was gone that morning. I don't remember. But doctor's appointments are more important right now, especially with a kid on the way. But anyways, that didn't work out. That first trade of the day was a loss. I probably, even if I was here, I probably didn't want to chase it right here, and it just kept going. And I didn't want to buy calls right here because this is what, the 15th. The 15th is right. right here this day, and this is 41050 level, such a huge level. It's been support, support, you know, and then it's I mean, yeah, support, yeah, support right there, support right there, support right there. I mean, in here, is this the 15th? No, in here, in here, and it just keeps touching support, and the more it touches, the more it's gonna flush through. So it went flush through it on Friday, but came back up. So um, so when I did this again, I just thinking of Friday that I didn't want to buy calls here, even though I did flush below the 410.50 and it came down to 409. It got quickly bought up, and so to me, I didn't really have that big knife like over here. It's gonna probably end up having that at some point because this level's been getting tested so many times, and I didn't want to take it with that in mind. That, you know, we did dump through it on Friday, but it quickly got bought back up and closed above it. That is still a very important level, and but yet I didn't want to take the risk of buying calls and having it flush to 409 down to even 408, 405 area. So I just didn't want to jump in front of this area. So I just decided not to grab calls right there. And apparently my toss just crashed, so I gotta pause the video and fix it. Okay, now that I'm back, toss picked a real bad time to crash, but it is what it is. So the next trade I took was let's see, calls at 10:44. You can see we took the puts right here to the flush to VWAP. It didn't work out. It stopped out. Then I waited till right here where it broke out right over this 412.15 area. Get an ascending triangle going on right here. It's flattening out right there, and it's, you can see it's making higher lows, flattening out. So it's due to break out at 412.15 is where I took it. I took the 41.30 calls at $4.60, and they went from 460 to 690. I don't know why. Did they get it late? I might have got it up here. No, I got it right in here. Yeah, I got it in here. I don't know why they only went from 460 to 690. Make sure I get the right day, first of all. Yeah. I don't know. It's just head scratch or whatever. But anyways, yeah, it took the 41.30 calls at 460, and they went from 460 to 690 right there. They should have gotten a lot more than that. But anyways, so that ended up being a good play, good breakout play right there. Then it rejected pre-market high, which is right here. I'm not a fan of buying puts at resistance on range days. And buying the calls at the bottom of the day on tight range days, because the market can end up having a massive day, and it hasn't had a really big day in a long time. So I'm just looking over at the daily chart. We've been in a small range. I mean, let's see, $4 range is $3 to $4 range almost every day. We haven't had a $10 range in a long time. I think we're due to have one fairly soon. But anyways, rejected pre-market highs. I didn't want to grab puts right there, and we had this big nasty red candle right here. I remember that I was thinking, okay, should I grab puts here? I didn't want to, so I ignored it. Then we had the this tail candle right here. But sometimes these tail candles come in and they look like it's a reversal. It ends up being a trap. So I waited, and we had this large red candle. I didn't feel like chasing it, especially after we haven't really had any big red candles since pre-market. Even this is pretty massive, like when we first opened up. So I wasn't gonna chase it. I waited. I thought about grabbing puts through VWAP, but I just didn't want to. I waited. Mondays I play extra cautious, maybe too cautious. But I waited, and I grabbed calls at 156, which is right here. Yeah, it's right here. It bounced off VWAP, and when it got up over the 4, you can see this body candle right here. This is the candle that bounced off VWAP, came up. Once it broke over this other candle right here, being a little more cautious, I grabbed the 4130 calls at 430, and they went from 430 to 650 in that push right there. So that worked out pretty good. Then I took 4130 calls again at 312, which is right here. Same thing, it's just putting in some consolidation candles right here, right around the 412.50 area. Got up over 412.50. It got quickly rejected, came back up. I probably was thinking about calls right there. I did not touch it. Came back down. It's 20 EMAs, this light blue line. It keeps bouncing off that. And then when it dropped back down, it quickly came back up. I liked it right here because you have this wick, this body, and this body. You got 3 candles all like lined up right here. So when it broke above that area, that's where I grabbed the calls. I grabbed the 4130 calls at 610, and they went from 610 to 730 right there. So that ended up being a decent little play. So only took 1 loss on Monday, so I can't really complain. But the first play of the day was just a loser, but it is what it is. Then on Tuesday, pre-market room, traded it as pre-market. I said SPY puts under 411.50, which is right here. I think I said it right around 918, so right here. It was up here, and I used the 411.50 area. I think it just rounded down. Yeah, you can see a little bit of a pivot right here. Support, and its resistance. It's right in this area, 411.50, and I just rounded down. That's where I ended up using that level. So I took puts at 950, which is right here. First candle was red. It didn't break lower day, so I did not grab it. I did not grab puts. I was looking at the downside of this. I definitely could have gotten calls over higher day. I kind of don't really like if the opening candle's red. I prefer to like for continuation to the downside of the opening candle. The opening 10-minute candle is green. I tend to look to the call side, but sometimes I will jump sides. But I could have, and I probably should have, but I didn't. I just waited it out. And when they had this big green candle right here, they had news 10 a.m. I don't know what it was. Could have been. I don't know what was going on at 9:50 at this time, but definitely looks like a news play. This big green candle, then it came back down. Once it broke below the 411.65 area, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 4120 puts at 750, and they went from 750 to $9 right there. So that ended up being a nice play. Then it came back up, and I reloaded at 957. So I got it in this candle. Yeah, I got it here, dropped back down, and then when it went back up to the 411.65 area again, I reloaded the same 4120 puts, but this time I got them at 730, and they went from 730 to 810 on that. So I got almost a dollar move, not quite. I could have if I stayed longer, but then I took calls at 1129, which is right here. Right here. So you can see it pushed through VWAP, didn't even reject it. I mean, well, technically, I guess you could say rejected right there, but we got above the 411.60, it pushed through, quickly got slammed, it came back up, then it started rejecting VWAP, rejected, popped over it, rejected, popped over it, rejected, popped over it, rejected. It did it like numerous times, and usually when it chops underneath VWAP, it does like the push. So after, what time did I grab it? 11:29, which is right here. Then when it finally broke above, let's see this body right here, and you get these wicks right here. So it looks like a good area to grab it right there at the 411.75, and that's what I did. I grabbed the 41.25 calls at $7, and they went from 7 to 7.90. Not much of a play. I mean, it did end up being a pretty decent play, but I was actually thinking we would get a stronger push based off all this consolidation under at VWAP, and it just ended up being a small little pop that got slapped. So I waited and I grabbed calls again at 12:39, which is right here. Same area. I mean, I took it right here before the last time, but you got popped up a little more right there. So I was a little more cautious. Let some candles form, but we get a nice little area right here, right around above the 412, because you get the wick and the wick and the wick, and we got a little bit here and here and here. So we get a good area right here to go off from. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up grabbing the 41.25 calls right here, right above 4012, and then went from 690 to 890. So you get a little bit of a play right there. Then it quickly got slapped down. So this day was very, very choppy, and I had enough, so I didn't want to trade anymore, so I didn't. But could have got some good end of the day plays right there. I actually might have taken something end of the day on in my challenge. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to actually look. But anyways, that is Tuesday. No, Wednesday ended up being a strong day, and I didn't do that well on Wednesday. Tiny losses on Wednesday, but made some horrible decisions. But let's see. Traded his room on Wednesday, the 17th, right? Yep, 17th. SPY puts in a 411. I can see we're getting pre-market news. I think this was PPI, I think. One of the inflation things, I don't remember. News dropped. It's bounced right off the 410.50, 410.50. It keeps coming up here, but I was looking at, okay, if it gets below 411, or even 411.50, well, I kind of picked 411 because obviously the day before it was bouncing off 411, and I didn't really want to use 410.50 if it gets below that, because it's been holding 410.50. It's been such a tricky area because it's holding sometimes, and other times it's flushing through quickly and getting bought right back up. So I used the 411 based on the previous day's lows, and that the 410.50 is close by. If it does break 411, we could get a good play out of that, anticipating that it could bounce at 410.50, and that's exactly what it did. So first 10-minute candle was red, even though I had a huge wick. Second 10-minute candle was a inside candle, but I took it anyways. I did not wait for down here. Did I take it? No. Yeah, I think I took it up here underneath the close of this. I'm not quite sure where I took it on this. I suppose I could go down to a smaller time frame and really look at where I took it. Let's see. I took it right here, right at the 412 area. So 412 is where I took it. Yeah, 412 is where I took it. So I took it in this candle right here. So I took it up here. So yeah, when it broke below this candle right there, the body of this candle, which I don't usually do that on opening candle, because when you see this ends up usually being kind of bullish, that it tried to drop and it got bought right back up, and then it usually just pops. But some reason I got really gutsy and I grabbed puts right here. I grabbed the 41.20 puts at 640, and then went from 640 to 1170 right there. So not quite sure why I bought the inside candle. The safer route was to buy it down here at the 411.10 area at lower day, but I didn't. I grabbed it up here. Worked out, but not quite sure why I did that there. But anyways, then I grabbed puts at 1122, which is right here. Went over high a day, quickly got rejected, came back to VWAP. I grabbed it, let's see, 1122, which was this candle right here. It came through VWAP. underneath the 411.60 area, 65 area. That's where I grabbed the 41.20 puts at 620, and they went from 620 to 750. So I got a dollar plus move out of that. Then it quickly got bought back up. This is just ridiculous. The wicks on this both sides. So then I ended up buying puts at 1252, which is right 1252. Right here for 1150. Now why did I buy them here? Oh, the hourly, you get it right here on the hourly. You can see it right here. Just make sure the camera and everything's working. Yeah, 414.50 right there. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have jumped in front of a truck because you get run over, and I did. I grabbed it right the 414.50 area. I grabbed the 41.50 puts at 720. I remember I grabbed it small, and then I ended up averaging down. I added more at 450, making my new average at 585, and I averaged more at 106, which is right here. Yeah, right here. I added more, started to drop, then it popped, and I stopped out right there. I had a 585 and I stopped out at 3. I think I only had 10 at that point in time. Then I had switched to puts at 230. No, I didn't switch. Yeah, I stayed on puts. I don't know why I didn't grab calls right here. I might have done it in the challenge account. I think I did in the challenge. I don't remember, but yeah, that would have been a good play right here because you see it wicked right here. It's wicking here, and you get a couple wicks right here and small body candles right here. So it's getting ready to push. It's making it like a little pullback from more of a push. Because market makers like to trick people and start to show weakness. That's why we call it an FU candle. This was what it was, an FU candle. Usually you have a long, strong momentum in one direction. Then you put in a red candle to make it look like a top is in and exhaustion is setting in and is about ready to reverse direction. And they end up pushing it one more time and taking out stops. That's why I call it an FU candle, because it's a big FU to everybody trying to catch the top or bottom, because it happens on both directions. So I mean, definitely could have got a play right there, and yeah, I kind of got on the wrong side of this one. If I played it as an FU setup, that would have been a nice little win. But sometimes you just get in your own head and you just think, okay, with all the things going on right now, it shouldn't be over 1450, but you can't think like that, because the market doesn't care what's going on. It just cares when it wants to, and it doesn't care. So I waited and I grabbed puts at 232, and which was right here. You could see it pushed for higher day right there, and got to the 415. I think I was looking at puts at like 415.50, but I didn't. I waited for this big red candle to form. I could have taken puts right here, but I didn't. I wanted to wait for a big red candle to form and wait for a couple more candles to form. So this was a perfect setup right here. Red candle, green candle, and when it got below this 415.15 area, I grabbed a 41.60 puts at 610, and then went from 610 to 840 in that dump right there. So that ended up being a nice little play right there. That was something I should have been more patient for. If I had just done that over here, I would have never taken it. But I was more patient on this one. Got a nice little U set up, so that's even made it even more reason for me to take it. Then I took calls at 318, which was right here. Right here. When it came back up over the, I remember this too. I got it prematurely because I think I called in a room over 415.50 to grab it, and I think I grabbed it just a tad bit early because I like to grab things before they break, anticipation of a breakout, because if you buy it right before it breaks out, you have a good chance of catching a strong move, and if you try to do it after it breaks out, you end up chasing $2 or $3 more. But the risky side of buying prematurely is that stuff like this happens, and it does happen once in a while. So I grabbed the 41.60 calls at 410, and it just dropped, and I stopped out at 2. So tiny losses, not that bad of a day. It was okay. I could have definitely done better. I grabbed this too prematurely. I probably would have done that over and over again, but this one I probably shouldn't have done. But It is what it is. I'm not going to complain about that. So on to Thursday. SPY puts under 414, which is right here. SPY puts under 414, which is down here. Look, I think let me just look at the previous day. I say 414? No, 419. Wait. Gotta check the time here. Check the date here. Yeah, 418. Yeah, 418. I SPY puts under 414. I'm looking at the wrong day. That's why it's confusing me. 414. Yeah, I just went down to the nearest whole dollar. It's dropping pre-market right there. Because I called that right around here, and I just used 14, the next whole dollar amount. And first 10-minute candle, green. Second, red. I didn't even look at puts. I just kept thinking, okay, it had a strong green opening candle. I'm going to look for more continuation. I waited another inside candle right there. When it finally broke, blow it up. When it finally broke over the 415.40 area, that's what I grabbed. The 41.65 calls at 640, and then went from 640 to 880 in that little push right there. Then I grabbed calls again at 11, which is right here for an FU setup. Strong green candles, a red candle right here, inside green candle when it broke above the 417.50, or even say 417.45 because of the two body candles lined up perfectly. That's what I used for the level. And I grabbed the 41.80 calls at 760, and they went from 760 to 1060. Then I grabbed 41.80 puts at 11.57, which is right here. Broke out, was a fake out, came back down, tried to break out again, fake out, and got pushed back down. So when it broke below the 417 area, you can see you get the wicks right here in the bottom of this wick. I mean, you could have even gone to 417.25, but I kind of went, you got this body right here, this body, and you get the bottom of the wicks right here. So you get a nice little area right here, 417.10, could round, or even say 417.15. You could have even taken that 417. Doesn't matter. You get a little bit of room right here. Once it broke below that area, I grabbed the 41.80 puts at 9.50, and then went from 9.50 to 18. So got a nice little push on that. Pushed right through VWAP, just like it likes to do. Strong through, push through VWAP here. Actually, it was chopping through. I usually ignore the indicators the first half an hour because there's so much indecisive and volatility that it just doesn't really make sense to even pay attention to them until the first half an hour gets over. Then I start paying attention to them a lot more. They have more value and more weight. So yeah, it flushed right through right here. Then I took calls at 220. I didn't take calls right here. I probably did in the challenge because I definitely would have, because it's consolidating underneath the VWAP. Then it gets over that 416.50 area and pushes through VWAP. I think I grabbed that through the challenge because I definitely would have taken that. But yeah, I didn't grab calls into 220, which is right here. You can see it pushed through VWAP, got rejected, came back down to the 415.50 area, quickly got bought back up, pushed through VWAP. Once it broke over the body of this candle and the body of this candle, over the 416.75 area, that's where I grabbed it. I grabbed the 41.65 calls at 690, and they went from 690 to 11.50 on that push right there. So that ended up being a good play, good Thursday. Then on Friday, let's see, very, very messy right here at open. Traded his room, SPY puts under 420. I was not expecting this kind of a push. 420, SPY puts under 420. Yeah, which is down here at the bottom of these candles right here. You can see support right there. And right when I called that, it was up here, and this had this big red candle. So I was kind of looking at puts. I mean, look at the run we've had. We've been sitting in this area for so long. It finally breaks out. We get a push to the 420 area, and so been kind of like bouncing around 420, getting over it, going underneath it, bouncing around 420 pre-market overnight. So when it popped up and it quickly came back down, I was thinking, okay, we're going to end up probably dropping, especially after this massive run. And there's really nothing really good news going on right now, but the market doesn't seem to care. First 10-minute candle was green. I could have gone for calls over pre-market high, but I didn't. I wasn't even looking at calls. I was looking at this run. We had a $10 run in 2 days. So I was thinking, we just based on everything that's been happening, that is just, I don't really see the justification of the push, but it doesn't really matter what I think. The market just is having a technical breakout, and to me, it's probably just pushing to get lure in calls so they can dump it next week or this week coming up tomorrow. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll cover that on the watch list. But anyways, didn't take calls. Obviously, wasn't even looking at them. Even if I was, I would have waited over pre-market high, and I wasn't comfortable taking it. I waited and waited, but now I did take it at 10 o'clock, and the reason I took it here, you get the body of this candle right here, and you get these two candles right here, and they flattened out at the 421 area, the 420.21. Well, I'll just say 420.20 area is why it was flattening out. So when I got below the 420.20, I grabbed the 41.80 puts at $8, and it didn't drop hardly anything. Went from 8 to 860. Didn't even break lower day. Quickly got bought back up. Went to go near higher day again. It just got rejected again. It came back down to the lower day. Got bought. I didn't quite go to higher day, but it struggled around the 450, the 420.50 area. And when it came back down, I grabbed. Actually, I didn't grab puts. I didn't grab puts right here at $11. I might have in the challenge. I think I did in the challenge. I'm not sure. But anyways, I didn't grab puts right there. I waited to 11:27, which is right here. I'm not sure why I grabbed. I think there was a news event that was happening. I don't remember what it was, to be honest. I have to think for a second. I don't remember what it was. Was there something about rate hikes? The Fed speakers or something? I don't really remember. That's the only bad thing about doing recaps once a week, is that I can't really remember what the news was. But this was, I think, there was a news thing that dropped, and I decided to chase it. I decided to grab the 41.90 puts right here, and I chased it. And they went from, I got it at 7.90, and it went from 7.90 to 17 right there. So it did work out. If I chased it, it definitely had to be because it was news related. Then it quickly got bought back up. I bought calls at about 12.20. Right here. Yeah, right here. I can see it dropped right there, came back up, rejected PDC, couple candles right here. And when it got over, let's see, the 418.75 area, that's when it popped. Yeah, I got the 41.95 calls at 7.10. They went from 7.10 to 7.80. Not much of a play right there. Kind of didn't really get too much out of that. Actually, no. I think I confused myself. Wait. I got the first one at 10.05. Right there. And I got this one down here. Yeah, I chased it. And this was 12.20 right there. Yeah, okay. That's what I did. 41.95 calls, 7.10, went to 7.80. Didn't get much of a play. Then it dropped. Then it came back up. Then it took calls at 3.51, which is right here. Same thing. I was kind of confused here because it looked like a head and shoulders, but it kept getting to this 418.70 area, and it kept getting shut down. So when it finally broke right over here, and it came back up to it again, I grabbed the 41.90 calls at 3.40, and they went from 3.40 to 5.60 right there. So I got a nice little end of the day pop on that on Friday. So I wasn't quite sure which way it was going to go because it looked like a head and shoulders. You get the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So I was kind of ready for either direction. I remember posting in a room that I was going to take it under I think I said 417.85 and over 418.65 for calls. So I was looking at it for both directions, end of the day. And being a monthly expiration, it could have gone either way and had a strong move. But the end of the day plays have been really nothing to speak of. They've been kind of like pinning and it's very, very annoying. We haven't had hardly any strong end of day moves here. We did right here, but it's been pretty much nothing end of the day right here. It did nothing. Thursday's the only day it did something here. So 2 days it did. Kind of didn't do too much right there. Yeah, so end of day plays, really not much going on. So that's it for the recap. I hope this has helped, and thanks for watching.